If you hate the feeling of people disliking you, thinking you're annoying, or just flat out boring, I'm going to solve that for you in this video with 3 tricks to win people over instantly. My name's Anthony Thomas. I have a degree from UC Berkeley where I studied people. I studied humans. I studied psychology. My degree is technically in sociology, and I still love it over a decade later studying people in group settings as well as individual settings. So we're going to get into 3 things that I've done over the years to help win people over instantly. First is listen. Listen, if you are with somebody and you're spending time with them, you don't want to take the majority of that space of you talking. If you think back to people that you've met and you just go, man, I really like that person. There was something about him. If you broke it down, I'm willing to bet that they did more of the listening and they let you talk and they even encouraged you to talk more about yourself, about your life, about the things that you like. And that's why you felt like you liked that person so much, is because they felt like a good listener. So you want to be a good listener for other people, and this is going to help win them over. So think 80-20. If you have 100 minutes you spend with this person, give yourself 20 total minutes of talking, and the other 80 is for that other person. Try to spread your 20 minutes out. And another bonus here is if you can recall different things that they've already said in the conversation. So earlier, you mentioned something about this person that was your friend. Were they there at this story you're telling me? And that's going to let them know that, wow, you were really paying attention. And you even remember that person's name and my friend's name or whatever it is. People love to talk about themselves, but they love it even more when they know that you are listening with intention. You actually care. It feels good, right? So, number one is listen. Try to do less talking than the other person. 80-20 is a good number to really sit at, but sometimes you're closer to 50-50. Sometimes it's, 60-40, but just don't be the majority of the talker. Be a good listener, listen with intention, and if you can, use some callbacks to things that they said earlier to let them know that you really are listening. Number two, mirror and match. Mirror and match. The easiest way I can help you understand this, you've probably heard this term before, but mirroring and matching is essentially, think of the modern day tribe, right? Back in the day when there were tribes and you would just stumble upon another human, maybe you were out exploring, picking some food out in the wilderness, and you see another human, which was kind of rare. You didn't see people all the time, and you're like, wait a minute, who is this? But they look like you. They have similar markings, your tribal tattoos, whatever it may be. The modern day version of this would be sports teams. Have you ever been out somewhere and you see somebody wearing this sports team and they interact with somebody else also wearing that sports team, whether it's a jersey or a hat, and they're like, oh yeah, hey, how about them? And they just instantly bond. Never met before, but they see each other as a common fellow person rather than a potential threat. It's the same thing here. So when you mirror and match, what that looks like in conversation is, as I'm talking here, you see me talking with my hands. I'm pretty intense. I'm pretty upbeat. The energy is high here. So if you try to meet that by just kind of cross arms and, yeah, talking like this, kind of slouched and stuff, it's not going to feel like a real strong connection. I won't feel as though you're part of my same team. But if you interact with me and you try to meet something close to my pace of speech or my energy, and if that's way out of your realm of comfort, like way, way out there, then just try to use your body to mirror and match. So if you were standing in front of a mirror and the person is talking to you like this, oh, they have, one arm across and the other one resting on the chin as they're talking, and they do some subtle hand gestures like this. Try to also do that without making it look like you're just mocking them, right? You want to make it seem natural and just, oh yeah, okay, I talk this way too. It's going to make them feel as though you are part of the same tribe. It just feels good when you see somebody that has this commonality, and you're instantly taking the guard levels down. The walls that usually block out potential danger, those come down a little bit when somebody sees themselves in other people. So mirroring and matching is number two. The third one, this is a big one. Number three is to ask better questions. So, how many times a day do you hear, if you're out and about, if you leave the house and you're going to town and you pop in for a quick coffee here and you go over there, how many times do you hear, how's it going? That's such a I I can't I can't just I can't crush that simple question enough. Like it's coming from a good place and I get it and social norms and all these things great. But like, hey, how's it going? Sometimes people ask that and genuinely want to know, how are you doing? Like, hey, how's it going? And they really mean it. And you know that, but you're just so used to just, oh, I'm good. You're so used to that response. It's almost like a yes or no question. Like, are you good? Yes. Are you good? Yes. Yes or no? Yes. Get rid of yes or no questions. If you want people to like you, if you want to improve your personality right away, right now, get better questions. So get rid of yes or no questions and ask open-ended questions. So rather than, hey, how's it going? Which is technically an open-ended question. I'm going to give you one of my two go-tos as a bonus here. I'm giving you two of my go-to questions to ask better questions and get better answers. Rather than yes or no, ask open-ended. And also, one of the key things here is like make it unusual. How's it going is a very usual question. We all get asked this question all the time. It's very usual. Try to get a little unusual and make people think a little bit and dig a little bit and actually be present right here in the moment. I can answer, "Hey, how's it going?" without even breaking whatever it is that I'm doing, without breaking my focus on counting change. Yeah, I'm good. Whatever it is, we've all seen this. But when you ask an unusual question and you cause somebody to have to think, it brings them in whatever chaos is going on in their life. It brings them into this present moment, interacting with you right then and there. So I'm going to give you two of my bonus go-to questions. You can steal these. You can start using these immediately. I have used these literally for over a decade now, and I still love. These are two of my absolute favorites. You're getting the cream of the crop for me personally, and you can use it for yourself. Use it right away. Before I get to that, of course, I have to ask if you like this type of content or if you're vibing with me and you actually want to see the rise of this channel, of these type of videos, or the demise of it, because let's be honest, who knows what's what. If that is you, just subscribe. It helps me out. It gets me excited. I look at subscriber counts and I'm like, yay, we're on the way to potentially making this a thing. Now, my bonus questions, the two that I've used it for over a decade. Number one, it's like asking, how's the day going? Hey, how you doing? It's like asking that, but it's so much better. And this is what it is. If you were to describe the day you're having using an animal, what would it be? And why is the follow-up to that. A lot of times you don't even have to ask the why. You just leave it at, if the day you're having right now was an animal, what animal would it be? A lot of times people are they're gonna stop, they're gonna rack their brain, they're gonna try to think of this, and they'll tell you what animal it is, but then they'll follow it up with the why. They just typically do, like over 95% of the time, people will say, "Oh man, you know that shoot, I my day to day is a hedgehog because I feel kind of small, but I'm still very prickly and sharp, and I could cause some damage, but also I'm feeling a little bit under undersized for the environment I'm in because I work with some elephants that could stomp me in an instant. Whatever it is, they usually follow it up with the why. Like, what animal is it? That's all you have to ask, and they will usually follow it up with the why. But if they don't, they just go, "Yeah, my day, it's a hedgehog." Then you could follow it up with, "Oh, that's interesting. Why is that?" And that will open up for some real good connection. And keep in mind, in all of this, you're not doing the talking. You just popped a good question out there and you're letting them talk. So this is, again, kind of back to that first thing, which is be a good listener. That's number one for me. And you can shift this. So if you want to get more specific on it, you could be like, if your day is a sea animal, what sea animal would it be? You can get specific. A flying animal of some sort, what would it be? And so on. You could change that up however you want. If your day were a plant of some sort, what would it be? Whatever. Number two, bonus question number two that you could steal and use right away. I'm looking at my notes here to make sure that I give this to you exactly as I had it written down all these years ago. When was the last time you laughed so hard that you cried? I love this question. This is a question that you can instantly see somebody, even if they don't remember it right away, you can see them already. The smile almost gets drawn onto their face instantly. When was the last time that you laughed so hard that you cried? We've all had this experience, and we know what it's like and the level of weirdo giddy that we feel when you laugh so hard that you cry. We know that, and even without recalling the specific trigger, the experience, the story that caused me to laugh so hard I cried the most recent time, even without knowing specifically what it was, we know that feeling. And that feeling gets washed over the person right away. So this is a good question. I love asking this because no matter what mood somebody's in, it elevates their mood from wherever they are. And then a lot of times you get some really good stories or a great joke out of it that they recall. And they're like, oh yeah, so and so told me this or whatever it was. And it's just fun for everybody involved. So when was the last time that you laughed so hard that you cried? And then again, this is like the follow-up why question. You can ask them, they can say, oh, it was 3 days ago. And technically that answers the question, like when was the last time? But then you can follow it up with what happened. And then they can share it or not. But either way, it's a good question to have. Now, the you steal these bonuses, but the one thing I will say is when I had to when I had to come up with questions to ask to try to improve my personality, it was pretty much because I had some experiences where I was interacting with somebody and then there was just that dead space drop off where we kind of like the conversation we just had finished, but we didn't really know we didn't transition into a new topic or anything. And it was kind of this weird, awkward dead space. And I was like, man, I do not like this. So what I did was I went and I just Googled it, like, 100 really interesting questions. I think I only did like 50 really weird questions to ask somebody, or funny questions, or silly questions, whatever it was. And I just picked my top 10, and then I was like, all right, I'm just gonna try to remember these. I'm gonna memorize 10 questions so that anytime there's down, like dead space in a conversation, group setting, individual, doesn't matter. I have some go-to questions that I could just fire off right away. These were two of those, and these are two of my absolute favorites. If you want more of those, just leave a comment in this video, and I will be able to send that and share that link to you right away with whatever questions that you want. 10, 100, whatever, but just Google it. It's honestly that simple. These are my two top faves year over year. Now, you are equipped to improve your personality. These are 3 tips and tricks you can use right away. Use them on anybody. Go be a good person. Use it on somebody, the next person you're going to speak to. Use these on them. Be a good listener, mirror and match their body language, their energy, and then just ask a better question.